trade deadline and the MLB draft have passed, and now it is time to re-rank the Seattle Mariners' top 30 prospects. And honestly, a lot changed for Joe and I on our lists. Back at the beginning of the year, we had Marlboro Jesus ranked at 31. Good meme. Then we had Juan Pinto at 30, and so on and so forth. A lot changed. Joe, let's talk about our rankings here. You want to start us off?
Yeah, number 30, we've got Mr. Tyler Guff, right-handed pitcher in Modesto, 19 years old. Not much else there. 29, we got Gene Munoz, rookie ball, 20. Again, it's just these are the back end of our prospect rankings. Not really a whole lot to touch on. But at number 28, I got to touch on the boy, Ben Williamson. Already in Modesto, by the way, just drafted. So, he's a bit more advanced than the first round draft picks that we picked up. We knew that when we drafted him in the second round that he's a guy already, with a bit more experience, I guess. He's a bit on the older side. He is 22. But he's hitting like 350 in 4 games at Modesto. Dude's already there within the organization, doing well. Third baseman could rise through the system pretty quickly like Tyler Locklear did. So that's very exciting for him. 27, Zach DeLoach. The old man, not that old, but he's 24 in AAA. He's having an okay year, I'd say. And then at 26, first baseman Robert Perez Jr. at AA. He is 23. Anything really on the rest of these guys here in 30 through 26?
Yeah, when you talked about Ben Williamson, obviously he's a third baseman right now and advanced hit tool. He's 22 years old at Modesto, obviously a college bat. So it's very similar to Tyler Locklear, like you said. And he could have a similar rise to Locklear through the prospect rankings and through the Mariners farm system as a whole. I would not be shocked to see Williamson aggressively push starting the year next year at Arkansas and maybe even finishing it in Tacoma next year, to be honest with you. I could see this being one of those,
no time in Everett?
Did you, maybe he'll go to Everett, who knows? But did you see that the Angels are they already put their first round draft pick in AA?
No way.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah, just like they did with Zach Neto.
Yeah, that's crazy. Why are they so overly aggressive with it?
I don't know. It's weird. I think he played one game at single A and then another game at high A. Yeah.
And they're just get him up.
We start with our 25 through 21 here. Alberto Rodriguez, outfielder at AA. He's 22 years old. Obviously, we were worried that he might no longer be with the organization as of last year. Then we have Travis Kuhn at 24 as a right-handed pitcher, AA as well. He's 25 in AA. I'll touch more on him in a second. Right-handed pitcher AJ Izzy in rookie ball at age 19 comes in at 23. Juan 10, obviously we know Juan 10, major league level adjacent at 23. And then another one, Isaiah Campbell at 21, MLB level. He's 25 years old. Going back to Travis Kuhn here, he has a 2.93 ERA down in Modesto. Or not in Modesto, sorry, in Arkansas. And there's a decent chance that if someone was to get injured or someone was to get sent down, maybe they're doing some roster shuffling with the bullpen because someone threw too many pitches. We could see Travis Kuhn come up. He's a really cool guy. I like Travis Kuhn a lot, just off the field as well. I think that he's someone who deserves a chance to the major league level, and he might see it out of the Mariners bullpen later this year.
Yeah, this grouping has just 3 guys that realistically will factor into the bullpen for the rest of the year. Kuhn being the one that we want to touch on here, but we've seen stuff out of 10 and Campbell already this year. It is kind of that revolving door of that area of the prospect rankings, it feels like, in this, section. But moving on to 20, another right-handed pitcher, guy rising through the ranks, Jeter Martinez. In the DSL rookie ball, he's 17, just won the DSL All-Star Game MVP. He's been tearing it up down there. He's got an ERA at 2 through many, many appearances, striking out batters left and right. He's got a 94-mile-an-hour fastball at the age of 17. Jeter Martinez, we might have him a little bit low compared to some other people, but we didn't want to be so aggressive with it where he's, touching the top 15. But 20, where we got Jeter Martinez. 19, falling down a little bit. Shortstop Axel Sanchez in high A Everett. He is 20. Not doing the greatest in Everett, unfortunately. It's kind of where he falls down here. And passing him, a guy that we just drafted at 18, another shortstop, Ty Pete. He's 18 years old, fresh out of the draft. Hasn't really, we don't know where he's going to go first, if he's going to go to Modesto, if he's going to go to the Complex League. Don't really know how that necessarily works with draft picks, especially guys out of high school, but we've got Ty Pete at 18 and 17. Pretty much a hero in the Game 3 against Boston. Outfielder Cade Marlowe at the Major League level. We've seen plenty out of him throughout, AAA and obviously his short time with the Mariners so far. And Colton, you want to hit us with number 16?
Yeah, number 16, we have right-handed pitcher Taylor Dollard, who's in Triple A. He's 24 years old. However, he is injured right now. Before the season, we had Taylor Dollard at 11 in Triple A. Obviously, he's fallen a little bit, and that's because Taylor Dollard has not shown out very well in Triple A and has been injured for most of the season. Overall, Taylor Dollard is a guy who's just depth at this point.
Hmm.
He's not like the Brian Woos, Bryce Millers, or even Emerson Hancocks of the world. He's a step or two below them, and I think that Taylor Dollard, if he turns into anything for the Mariners, is going to be a plus. I would not be shocked to maybe at the end of the year when we do another re-rank, or maybe sometime beginning of next year, we see Taylor Dollard in the low 20s or even not even on this roster anymore.
Yeah, been kind of a fall from grace in that respect, but big ups to him if he does manage to return to a bit more of a formidable force, I guess, in the prospect realm.
So that brings us to our top 15 here. Now, this is where things start to get a little interesting. We're starting with Johnny Farmello. He's straight out of the draft at 18 years old. He is our number 15 prospect. Prospect just acquired in the Paul Sewald trade that I'll touch on here in just a little bit is Ryan Bliss, a second baseman. He's our number 14 prospect. He is in AAA right now at the age of 23. We moved Walter Ford, right-handed pitcher, to 13 in rookie ball. He's 18 years old. Prelander Baroa, we saw him a little bit in the major leagues, but right now he's kind of back in Double A. 23 years old. Obviously, big fastball from him. He's our number 12 overall prospect. And number 11, we have outfielder Jonathan Clase, Double A, at 21 years old. Talking a little bit about Ryan Bliss. He's 5'6", like 180 pounds or something like that. He's Jose Altuve.
Yeah.
But he's a guy who has a lot of power for a second baseman, at least from what we've heard,
Hmm.
and a guy that even Jerry Dipoto said we could see by the end of this year. So Ryan Bliss is somebody that I would keep an eye on if I'm a Mariners fan. I even kind of feel like 14 might be a little too low for him. Thanks, Joe.
You're welcome.
And and the idea that he could be with the team at the end of this season and having some sort of semblance of second base production is really exciting to me. Ryan Bliss is a guy who, once he gets his feet wet, I think he just reported to Tacoma at the time of recording this video, and he's in the lineup today.
Yep.
Ryan Bliss is going to be a guy to keep an eye on down in AAA.
Yeah, he tore it up at Double A for the Diamondbacks, then was in Reno, hitting below 200, but we know the pop is there. He's hitting second, I think, for the Rainiers in his, Mariners organization debut. So Ryan Bliss, obviously very happy to have you within the farm system. 14, it is my fault. I had him a little lower than Colton did, but that's because I had guys like Class A not as low as Colton. It's hard, right? It's hard to balance this here. And speaking of hard to, balance where we have prospects, debuting at number 10 in our farm system, major leaguer Dominic Canzone at our 10th ranked prospect. He's 25. He's an outfielder, maybe first base if they let him go over there. We all know the profile behind Dominic Canzone, right? Tearing up at AAA, and Colton's mad at me because I didn't have him higher. So
Dominic Canzone is quite literally like the best hitter at the AAA level in 2023 and was throughout his entire career in the minor leagues, was like the best hitter in his class. And Joe had him out of the top 10. I had him 8.
I did have him out of the top 10. I don't know. I just didn't want to be like overly aggressive with some of these picks, and that, could come back to bite us. A guy that I had close to number 9, but Colton had him lower. Emerson Hancock falls out of the top 5. We know the story behind Hancock all year is that he's got a couple blow-up starts, and then he figures it out for a stretch of 3 to 4 starts in a row, and then back to a blow-up start. So Emerson Hancock, our pitching prospects, kind of, after you mentioned it, like Woo and Miller get promoted and all that. The rest of them kind of lost a little bit of stock, and I don't know. I'm fine with Hancock at 9, but
I feel like in terms of pitching prospects, when guys graduate, you didn't lose them, but when they graduate,
sure.
You start to see a point in when you go through development. Obviously, the Mariners were so heavy on drafting pitchers, and they kind of switched over to be really heavy on drafting hitters. And now that a lot of those pitchers have graduated, we're starting to see the hitters kind of at the top of the list here. Obviously, Brian Wu and Bryce Miller were in our top 10 before.
Yep.
They have both graduated off of this list. So now the only pitcher on this list in the top 10 is Emerson Hancock, and even that kind of feels like there's a chance he might not be in there. So
exactly,
he's the first guy up if somebody does get hurt. But overall, Emerson Hancock has fallen from grace a little bit.
Yeah, I will say that does feel kind of like a healthy ecosystem, though, with the way that they've drafted and developed, switching from heavy pitching to heavy, hitters, that it kind of balances out where you graduate those pitchers, then the hitters kind of take over. Guy here at number 8 who could figure into the MLB picture by 2024, I think. Tyler Locklear did get injured this year, third base slash first base. He is at Everett High A. He is 22. Lots of, promise and potential there, but he did get hit on the hand and had a bit of a setback. So his timetable is a little bit off, I think, but I think 8 is fair for him. And 7, we've got infielder Michael Arroyo at Modesto. Got moved up from the rookie ball after he was hitting 636, by the way. But he is still, he's hitting below 300 at Modesto, so it's not, the biggest turnaround there for him. That's why he is outside of the top 5 for us. He is 18. And number 6, the first pick by the Mariners in the 2023 draft, Colt Emerson, shortstop, could grade out as a third base, not been assigned anywhere yet. He is 18, freshly 18, by the way, at the end of July, so he is very young, coming in at number 6.
Yeah, I mean, Colt Emerson is a guy who, of course, we've compared a lot to Cole Young. It's healthy, like you said, a healthy ecosystem that the Mariners are now going out and getting these middle of the infield type guys like a Colt Emerson, Cole Young, etc., and slotting them right in at the top of their prospect rankings. And I think Emerson, I would not be shocked once he starts getting going, either here at the end of the year or like the Winter Ball League or something like that, if he finds his way into the top 5. But
100%.
You are absolutely not breaking me of the fact that Lazaro Montez is the number 5 prospect for the Seattle Mariners.
I mean, baby Jordan, or he's bigger than Jordan. I had him, I think, at 8. I think 5 is fine with me because I love the potential here, right? I love the dude that has a good eye at the plate, it seems like, and can hit 500-foot missiles.
Yeah,
which is why I had Dominic Canzone outside of the top 10.
I was gonna say, you just described Dominic Canzone, but it's fine.
A lot smaller of a frame.
Lazaro Montez, obviously, like Joe said, baby Jordan. This guy absolutely smashes mistakes. He is someone that we've seen in Twitter videos. I'm sorry, X videos. In Twitter videos where we've seen him either on practice fields or in rookie ball, the DSL, etc., absolutely destroying baseballs. They had families, and just Lazaro Montez did not care.
Yeah.
I'm super excited to see him and what he can do as he advances through the Mariners minor league system. Similar to how I am to see Felton Celestine, shortstop, who we have ranked number 4. He's at rookie ball as well, 17 years old. Joe, tell me a little bit about Celestine and what's been going on so far in 2023.
So he did get hurt pretty early on into the season, I think. I think that's how it happened. He was out 6 to 8 weeks with a hamstring.
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, and so haven't really had a great big chance for anything to really happen with Celestine, but he's young. He will have time to develop and probably end up being a number 1 prospect in the Mariners system come next year, realistically, right? Dude's got all the potential in the world. He was the second number 2 overall international signing when we signed him during the last international signing window, so the hype is there. It's just the injury kind of prevented him from moving up our list. And I think guy at number 3, doing very well at high A, Ever Aqua Sox, Gabby Gonzalez, 19 years old outfielder. Dude's looking great.
Yeah, I am lower on Gabby Gonzalez than a lot of people are. And do I have a good reason for that? No, not really. Yeah. I think that Gabby Gonzalez as a whole, I just need to see him more. And now that he's in Everett, I could literally drive up there and see him.
Yeah.
But I feel like the fact, 19-year-old outfielder hitting really well at high A. I think he had a walk-off in like his second game with Everett or something like that. And Everett's just a fun group as a whole right now. I mean, you have like 4 or 5 of the top 10 in Everett at the moment. So if you guys are around Everett, go see these guys. And
true,
Gabby Gonzalez, I mean, I hope he proves me wrong. I hope he proves to me that he's more than just like a 4th outfielder type. Because if he is more than that, if he's like an everyday corner guy, I don't think that he sticks in center.
No, I think right field would make more sense. Yeah.
If he's more than a 4th outfielder guy, if he can be an everyday corner guy, I am all in on Gabby Gonzalez. But that leaves us with our last 2 prospects, our number 1 and number 2. And Joe and I had a disagreement.
We're split. And we need you guys to help us decide between the last 2 prospects that would only make sense to be in this position. Cole Young, shortstop. We all know the tail of the tape on Cole Young. He is smashing high A pitching right now, hitting like 328, I think, playing a great defensive shortstop over there as well. But the guy that I'm having a hang up on, Harry Ford, the number 1 prospect in the system, currently 25th, I think, in all of MLB, something like that. It's hard for me to remove him from the number 1 spot, and Colton wants to take Prince Harry, King Harry, off his throne, and I don't want to see it. I want to see Harry Ford at the top. Colton wants to see Cole Young at the top. So you guys decide for us, essentially. However, I don't think there's a wrong answer. Ford plays the premier position of catcher, but I'd say shortstop is just as premier as catcher when it comes down to it. and Young is performing better at the same level right now. So I will concede to you there. However, I'm stubborn and I won't budge.
Yeah, I mean, who performed better in the WBC?
I don't think Cole Young played in the WBC, my friend.
Exactly. Exactly.
Yeah.
Therefore, Harry Ford performed better. So I think Cole Young is the number one overall prospect. Joe thinks it's Harry Ford. I'm going to need you to tell me in the comments down below who you think the number one prospect is for the Seattle Mariners. And if you want to learn a little bit more about the guys we got in the Paul Sewald trade, Joe made a video on that. It's on the screen now. I appreciate you guys watching this one, and go Mariners.